What up, everybody? TwoLoud TX here, and of course, I wanted to give you guys the iTunes review shout outs this week. Thanks again so much to all of our listeners. You guys are amazing. You guys continue to show the love, and we really appreciate it. So, we want to show some love back by giving a shout out to everybody that's given us an iTunes review. I wanted to start off here with False Pretenses, and thank you so much, buddy. Gave us a 5-star review, said enjoying the show, keep up the good work, loving Fortnite and loving the tips. It was great hearing. I'm not the only one who took a minute to get what the PvE game is. Man, that PvE game, they're still working on it, so Save the World's getting better all the time. But man, thank you so much, False Pretenses, for that 5-star review. Next, we got Strict Legend with the 5-star review as well. And he said, this game is probably one of the best games I have played in a while. Thanks for the awesome game. Man, we would love to take some credit, but we can't because unfortunately we did not make the game at all. We don't work for Epic, but we do appreciate the support and we agree with you. It is an awesome game. And then we have Good Grief 17, and he said, listen to the podcast every week. It's out while at work. Always keep up to date on everything in the game and gives good tips on staying alive, getting more kills in PvE. And thank you so much, Good Grief, for that one, boss. We'll try to keep those tips coming for you for sure. Mad Maximus 05 said, I love listening to this all the time. We love you all the time, Mad Maximus. And thanks so much for the support, buddy. Joe Stuff, he said, just love hearing about Fortnite from people who enjoy the game as much as I do. Keep it up, Joe from Virginia. Hey Joe, thank you so much, man. We do love Fortnite, and make sure you guys are joining the community, the Discord, the PS4 community, if you want some more people to talk about Fortnite with and play with. And then obviously we got Kyle the Anxious shouting us out as well, buddy. We love you as well. He was on episode 12 if you guys want to go back and listen to that one. And he says, love you guys. Thanks so much for the opportunity. So man, we love you too, buddy. Thanks for the support. We got let's see, we got Raw Red 84 who said, these guys are fans first, like most of us. They do a great job of highlighting all the updates and changes in the game as they happen, and I definitely learned some things from listening as well. Also, make sure you join the PS4 community if you're on the PlayStation, as it's a great way to connect with other players. They hit me up last night to play along with another member of the community, and I had a great time. Even got carried in a couple squad wins. Keep up the great work, fellas. Hey man, Red, thanks so much, buddy. We really appreciate it. You guys are amazing, and hey, anytime we can help anybody get a victory royale, we definitely will. So make sure you guys are hitting us up for that as well. Live Trailer Park 69, or I live in a trailer park 69. Still love the podcast. Listen to on the way to work, to and from work. Love all the segments and guests on the show. Looking forward to more content. And that's Smiley. That's actually our boy Smiley there, who's also really involved in the community, always playing with us. Red Code 14444 said, I love this so much. And can you do more PvE, please? 5 stars. Keep it up. Red, we are really doing our best, man, to try to stay on top of PvE. You know, we need to talk a little bit more about it, to be honest with you. But we don't play it as much as we play Battle Royale. And we don't like to talk about things we don't play a whole lot. But there's definitely ups and downs. We'll have some focus shows on PvE coming up soon. We're planning some things. But definitely, man, we appreciate the 5-star, and we'll try to bring you some more PvE content. Miss Not Impressed said she was impressed here with a 5-star review. Said keep on making going. Make Epic Games hire you. Well, we would love that. We would love that if it would be possible. And then I Love Money said, great podcast. Keep up the good work. Love the tips too. I definitely see an improvement in my game using these tips. Hey man, thank you so much. We hope you get some type of improvement. We get improvement out of listening to Monster D-Face and getting his tips and applying those to our game as well. Then we have Dank Bowl And he gave us a 5-star review as well. Said, wanted to drop in and say, I love the show. You guys do a great job of discussing the game and getting me through the day when I can't play. My only complaint here is that there aren't enough episodes to listen to. Well, we are trying to bring them out to you every week, buddy. And we bring special episodes out when certain things occur. So hopefully we can keep on keeping on and bring you some more content. So thanks so much, Dink Bull, for that 5-star. And then we got TNT Boss 505. He says, I love Fortnite and it's my favorite game. So keep on the awesome podcast. Hey man, it's our favorite game as well, and we will definitely keep it up. And the last one here rounding us out is Super Mario Lopez. He gave us a 5-star review. He said, I love the podcast, and I think it's awesome that you let your listeners join in the community and maybe play around, or 30 LOL, and the Discord servers is on point. Lots of awesome people with lots of awesome tips. Keep on keeping on and staying awesome. And that's Super Mario Lopez. Hey man, thank you so much, man. We had a great time chatting with you and playing with you. This is as much of y'all's community as it is ours. You guys make it happen. So thank you so much for everybody that gave us an iTunes review. If I missed one somewhere along the way, shoot me an email and I'll get yours out there. I'll do this again about every 6 weeks. I like to catch up on the iTunes reviews. Give a shout out to all of our listeners who make this show what it is every single week. Guys, we appreciate it. You guys are amazing. And you know what? Let's go ahead and jump into another episode of your Fortnite Community Podcast. Here we go.
You're listening to the Fortnite Community Podcast with your hosts, TwoLoud TX and Nolxero.
What up, and welcome to another episode of the Fortnite Community Podcast. I'm your host, TwoLoud TX, and here with me today, the one, the only, the 1 HP killer, Nolxero. What's going on, bro?
Not much. I've actually been using my sticker that they put in the game for me a lot lately.
Yeah, the 1 HP.
I was like, that's really nice of Epic to listen to the podcast and do things for us. I really appreciate it. It's nice of them.
Man,
they seem to take a lot of my suggestions. I mean, they haven't outright came out and admitted it, but a lot of things I've talked about on the show have come to fruition in the game. So
it's true.
You're welcome, Fortnite community, for building anywhere through anything. That was an idea that was originated here, and that was in the game, so I'll take credit for it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? No one else is. You might as well.
Well, I definitely was talking about that way before it ever even came up in the game. And maybe they had the idea, but I'm telling you, I talked about that a long time ago.
Yeah, it's true. You did. I'm a little hoarse because I've been on spring break with my kids all week and playing a lot of Fortnite and then screaming and everything else. So I'm recovering from that this week. And I have a whole nother, the good thing is I have a whole nother week off next week. So that's what's enjoyable about recovering. So I have a recovery time from recovering from work. I now have a recovery time from recovering from my children and my family for spring break. So that's going to be enjoyable.
That's cool.
As always, guys, this show is brought to you by Glomtom, glomtom.com. Use the code Fortnite for 5% off. It helps support us, and you get an awesome product. I actually got a tweet this week from somebody that actually asked me, like, hey, TwoLoud, why do you like your Glomtom? Like, why would I spend, like, whatever it is, $45 on a Glomtom? And basically, they said, I could just use a pillow, right? And what I ended up telling them was, like, hey, look, I understand that you can be skeptical, right, of the situation. I actually said, honestly, a pillow will not give you the support that the Glomtom provides, especially where your arms rest. Once you try it, you'll understand my addiction. I wouldn't promote it if I didn't believe 100% into it. 100% into it, I turned down a lot of other products. I mean, we've been approached by other products along our journey of podcasting the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, anybody that's listened to us should really take that really into consideration, is the fact that of how much podcasting we've done and how little advertising we've done as far as, like, for other companies.
Yeah, I mean, we get, especially, I mean, with this podcast and with our Destiny podcast, we were approached by a lot of different people to like do different advertisements. I got an email from a VPN company the other day, like, hey, we want to promote our VPN service through your podcast. I'm like, no, it's okay. Because I don't want to put anything on here. Number one, I don't believe on. I wouldn't want to tell any of you guys to go buy a product I don't believe in or I haven't used myself. And number two, if it doesn't have to do with like playing video games, I don't really see the point. Because this is a video game podcast.
Could be used for gaming as far as like protecting yourself from, DDoS and all that. Like, there's definitely things you use a VPN for, but I mean that's what I agree. We're not using it.
Right. We're here to have fun, and so we tell you about Glomtom because we believe it's a good product, and I am addicted to it. So I use mine every night when I play Fortnite. Guys, hope you enjoyed the iTunes reviews at the beginning of the podcast. If you want yours read, we'll read them again in a couple weeks. So go ahead and shoot those into us. Go ahead and keep updating us on iTunes. It really helps us out. Helps other people when they go look for a Fortnite podcast, like our guest today, see our podcast and go, hey, I should give that one a listen. So keep those coming. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. This week we will be caught up on all 18, which will be now 19 episodes on our YouTube channel. So if you guys want to see some victory royales along with our podcast and listen to it while you're playing or whatever, feel free to do it there as well and follow us on Podbean. We got some emails coming up, so thanks everybody for the emails this week. We'll be reading those later on in the show. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and welcome our guest here, Mr. UberYouTuber. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like a rhyming word, right? UberYouTuber.
Yes, indeed. Yep. Yeah, it is. I used to drive for Uber, so that's how I came up with the name. And I play a lot of mobile games, and I used to actually like pull over on the side of the road and just make a video. So UberYouTuber is very fitting. Plus, I'm German. I'm from Germany, so Uber is kind of a German word, right? So
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, I am a listener of the program, and I really like what you guys are doing. And I reached out on Twitter, and boom, now I'm sitting here on the show with you guys. Pretty awesome. Dreams do come to.
Well, no, I mean, we obviously appreciate you reaching out on Twitter. It's awesome to hear from followers. It's awesome to hear from listeners and also other content creators like yourself, right? So if you are out there and you're a content creator like UberYouTuber, go ahead and reach out to us as well. But man, I just wanted to say, obviously, first off, thanks for reaching out, and we really appreciate that. I mean, I've been watching some of your videos as well and getting to know you and Uber Nation, that you call it, the man behind Uber Nation. Yeah. Guys, if you don't know, UberYouTuber has over 45,000 subs on YouTube and 7.8 thousand followers on Twitter. And do you do Twitch or anything?
I do Twitch. Yeah, it's UberYouTuber on Twitch too, which sounds kind of weird. But I thought I'd keep it uniform, but I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, it's easy for them to find you that way, right?
Right, exactly. But yeah, I don't do Twitch as much as I do YouTube. I'm in an identity crisis right now. I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly.
I think that's
Twitch, and here I am going against the grain. You know, I went to E3 2 years ago. And they set up this huge booth, YouTube Gaming. It was going to be this new big thing, and it's going to take Twitch down. And I'm like, wow, you know what? I never streamed on Twitch before. I'm just going to go onto YouTube Gaming and just ride that wave. But honestly, I don't think it ever took off the way Twitch has. Twitch is still king as far as streaming is concerned. So.
Well, I mean, Amazon does own Twitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know Google owns YouTube, so like you got two of the biggest companies behind it, right? I think.
Yeah, but you just got to look at how YouTube's ran versus how Amazon runs their company. Like Google does own YouTube, and YouTube is still not profitable as a company. And
as
Amazon is always like future-proof, like thinking way off in the future. So I mean, it's obvious why Twitch is there. Plus, Twitch was there first.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I already had a really good name. It's got a really good system, I think, for a lot of the people. And it's, although I guess a lot of people would argue how, diluted that Twitch already is, and you have some of these main streamers that always rise to the top type of situation, you still hear stories all the time about people that, or start streaming on a new video game like Fortnite, and all of a sudden their channels blow up, right?
Right.
I mean, you have Dakota as a Monster D face. A lot of those guys that have come in this community that have shot up. I think it's really hard, and you know this, to go to YouTube and like do daily videos every day of your life.
It is a grind. Absolutely.
When I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm playing games already, I'll start, getting on Twitch, and then I'll start this personality, and that becomes kind of an evolutional thing, right? And dedicating yourself to YouTube is like making up your mind that I'm going to block out this time of day. I'm going to create a video. I'm going to sit down and do this and this and this and this.
Right.
And so I think it definitely is different responsibility levels and different things you have to do. But you mentioned you drove for Uber. That's how you came up with UberYouTuber, and you started playing a lot of mobile games. So tell us a little bit about that journey, like, kind of a little bit of background of you and like where you came from and how you got into gaming and why mobile gaming that you first kicked off on.
Sure. So I've been a gamer my whole life. I mean, really since Game Boy, since Amiga 500, really. That was the first computer I ever had that I played video games on. So I've been a gamer all my life. Then about 3 years ago, I decided to kind of get more involved in the business side of things. I wanted to kind of be more in touch with the developers and all that stuff, rather than being just a consumer, but kind of getting behind the scenes. So I started writing game reviews for a website, and I'm a big sports gamer, really, which is kind of funny. How here I am on a Fortnite podcast,
right?
Yeah. But my whole life, really, I've been a huge.
I think that speaks to Fortnite as a whole,
It totally does. It really does. I'm a huge sports gamer. I've always been a huge sports gamer. I played a lot of Madden. I decided to, start a YouTube channel. After I went to E3 and I was doing the writing, I thought, you know what? I think the new platform is going to be videos. People don't want to read articles anymore. They want to see videos about games and reviews and stuff. So I thought that was going to be the new medium, and I thought maybe I'll start a YouTube channel and make some videos. I didn't realize how hard that was going to be, the editing and all that, like the equipment you need. And it always sounds so easy, but it's really not.
Right.
Anybody can do it, but at the same time, there's still a learning curve, right?
Oh, there's a huge learning curve. I mean, to any content creation you make, and I think that it goes across all platforms, whether it's a podcast, right? Because you get into podcasts and all of a sudden you discover all this other stuff you need, or like what mic should I actually be using, or what software I need to edit, right? And I think the more advanced of the content you create as you get into YouTube and streaming and stuff. We know this struggle so well, don't we, David, about the streaming? I mean, we know the struggle of like, oh crap, there's a buzz going on. Like,
boy,
where's that
do we
buzz
know
coming
streaming?
from?
Like, you wouldn't think so, because no one's watching us stream on a nightly basis. But that's because we went through so much, and obviously we're very busy people, with families and everything. But yeah, I mean, we've gone through everything to figure out how to stream and have a stream that sounds good and looks good. Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, whether you have 100,000 people watching like Ninja or 2 people watching, the same work has been put in, right? Like you can tell a quality stream from a bun stream for sure.
Right.
And if you do want to do it right, I mean, it takes just as much work, It doesn't matter, how many viewers you have. So I did YouTube. And I played a lot of console games, and it took me about a year to get around 3,000 subscribers. And I streamed every single day. I mainly just streamed every single day for 3 hours. And I got to 3,000 subscribers, playing mainly Madden. And then a lot of those people that were watching me started telling me to start playing some of these mobile sports games. And I've really never been into mobile gaming ever, aside from Nintendo products, but not on the cell phone or tablet, never even thought about it. But these kids told me to play some of these sports games, and so I did, and that's when this channel really started taking off. And just like you guys, I have a family, I have a full-time job, so making content for mobile devices became a lot easier for me than console. You know, because I could literally, with the technology the way it is these days, I mean, you can make content on your cell phone. I mean, you can face cam, you can record, you can edit, you can do everything on your cell phone. It's amazing. So I started doing that, you know, and it took off. The channel grew from 3,000 subscribers to like 40,000 in about 8 months or so.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. But I've never lost my love for console gaming. You know, it's just never been popular on my channel.
Right. Right. I think that's so intriguing because so many people have, like, you know, everybody thinks like, oh, no one's going to watch my stuff, but you never know until you get into, you know, start doing your thing, because who would have known, you know, like you said, you love console gaming and you never had thought about mobile. And then here you go, all of a sudden you got a mobile channel.
Right. So true. So true. So then Fortnite came around.
Right.
And I was probably a late adopter. I didn't start playing till about 2.5 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
But it absolutely hooked me. This game absolutely hooked me. And once again, it was a lot of people on my channel asking me or telling me to play Fortnite. And I'm like, you know, I like shooter games, but I don't really, I've never been into it as much as I've been into sports games. And, you know, people kept telling me, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it a fair shot. And it's absolutely just swept me off my feet to the point where now Fortnite Mobile came out, and I went out and bought an iPad just so I can play it, rather than having to wait a few months for it to come out on Android.
So let's talk a little bit about this. This is actually one of the topics we wanted to talk about today, was the mobile version of this game. So, you know, here we are. You created this YouTube channel. You go over to mobile gaming. Your channel blows up on YouTube. And in the mobile scene, mobile gaming scene, the sports games mainly, all of a sudden your fans tell you, hey, play Fortnite, come back around, start playing Fortnite, and now it's going to mobile. And I mean, I haven't seen a lot of channels that are like focused on the mobile version of this game. So to start everybody off, obviously this came out this week. For everybody that doesn't know, we're in the invite phase, I guess, and beta testing phase of it. So why don't you tell us your first impressions, Uber, of what do you think about Fortnite Mobile?
Okay, so first gameplay, first time I launched into the game, I was very impressed how true to life it looked, like how true to console life it looked, you know?
Right.
It's very close. Clearly, you know, the details were scaled back a little bit, but I was happy with the look of the game.
Right.
Now, the feel of the game was really tough for me. Really, really tough. The first few games, you know, being used to having a controller in my hand. And I play it on PS4 and Xbox One. I haven't tried it on PC yet. And even there, when you switch back from console to console, I got the Elite controller on Xbox, and I just have a regular PS4 controller. Even that's a little bit tough to do. And when I went onto mobile for the first time, I had a really hard time. I mean, building and everything is there. It's just in a little bit of a different place, and not having analog buttons is a little bit tough for me. It is a little bit tough. But now, having probably put about 3 hours into it on mobile, I'm coming around. I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more. I'm starting to get better.
Right.
But I will say this, the cross-platform play, although I love it when it comes to PC, to PS4, to Xbox One, whatever.
Right.
I don't know if it could ever work mobile to console.
Man, I don't either. And I definitely agree with you on that. As I was playing it, and I have about probably hour and a half in it.
Right.
And as I'm playing through it, the first couple games I'm like, I don't really know about this. And then like the third game, I started to catch that pocket where it fits with the aim assist, right? And how well aim assist works on it. Yes. It really does help you out a lot to get your kills. It does stay there. And I felt like, okay, cool. And everybody was basically pretty horrible at the game right now. They still are that you're playing, because no one's ever played this game on mobile, and it's very different. The controls feel very different. You can't just all of a sudden pop up and start building like, you know, myth on a freaking, you know, random structure. You're building 100, you know, feet in the air. You can't do that. It's just not that easy to do it.
Right.
even in gunfights, like if you start throwing up walls, like people don't know what to do because it's so different on mobile. But it did start to click with me a little bit, and I saw that little bit of like, okay, yeah, like I could enjoy this for what it is. You know, being at 30 frames per second, obviously the biggest difference that I saw. But the aim assist really did help, and so I would say anybody that plays it, give it a try. Like, get in like we are a little bit and give it a few rounds and maybe a couple hours to see how much you really like it. I'm curious because I know David's answer on this. We actually talked about it as far as the controls go. And David, what I want you to go ahead and tell me what you thought about it as far as the controls. Tell me about the controls. You can leave out the bad words maybe you perhaps said about your frustrations regarding it, but
I didn't say any words.
But I want to hear what I want to hear is I want to hear, Uber, with you playing so much mobile games, what his take in comparison to it, because we obviously don't play as many mobile games as you do. I know David plays a lot of mobile games, but like with joystick situations where you're moving around or anything, not a whole lot of those. So, David, why don't you start us off, kind of give us your summary, and then let's hear what Uber has to say.
All right. Well, the biggest problem I have with it is, so from my experience with analog stick type games, at least good ones on phone that I've played, I'm like, hey, this is enjoyable. Typically, once I put my hand, like my thumb on the joystick, the virtual joystick, and start moving, that joystick kind of disappears, right? And it becomes a thing of wherever I move my thumb is how, like if I move it forward, I'm going to move forward. If I move it back, I'm going to move it back. However, in Fortnite mobile, you have to, like if I have my thumb, say my thumb's gotten to the top of the screen, and I now want to walk backwards or back step, I have to move all the way down. I know that doesn't sound like a crazy big deal. Some people might listen to this and be like, who cares? But it makes a huge deal because there's so many times where I'm like trying to walk and I like go back down on the screen and I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing in the game that I'm still not going backwards or moving how I expect to move. That it just gets really frustrating to me.
Makes sense.
Because that joystick's like in place. For
right, it's not a floating virtual
about.
stick. It's more of a solid like virtual stick.
Yeah.
It's in place, right?
Yeah,
so
that's my biggest problem.
It only has an area of movement for everybody that's listening. Like that, what he's saying is if his finger's above, like pushing a joystick up, he like has to actually.
You have to bring it back down to 0 and then go down.
Yeah, yeah.
And that can be a pretty fluid motion. But here's my suggestion to not be overly negative on the situation, and then I'll let you tell us what you think. I suggest that they make it where half of the screen is controlling your movement, and the other half of your screen is moving your aim. Because there's a lot of games that currently do that. That way, when my thumb is moving up on the left side of my screen, I'm moving up. Or if I want to invert my controllers. But then also have an option to flip it. So people that want to play with their left hand moving and their right hand aiming, they can do, they can invert that as well.
Good call.
Go ahead.
Interestingly enough, I think the right side of the screen is set up that way, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
There is no virtual stick on the right side of the screen. You're just kind of moving your thumb where you want to aim. And I did test that. It goes, I want to say it goes exactly 50-50, like half of the screen.Maybe it's 60-40, but most of the right side of the screen, no matter where you touch, you can look around and aim. So
right.
They could almost remove
the
virtual stick on the left side and kind of have it the same way, where you just slide up and slide down, left, right, That's a good call, actually. That's a good, because I do have some trouble with that as well. And I'm playing it on a tablet. In most of my other mobile games, I play on an Android phone, a large Android phone, but it's still much smaller than a tablet.
Yeah, are you playing on the iPad Pro or like the iPad Mini?
So I went for the Mini because I knew I was going to have trouble with a larger device. So I have the iPad Mini 4, but it's still rather large, compared to what I'm used to.
You were mentioning before the show the 4 costs as much as the PS4.
Yes, I wasn't a big fan of that. But
yeah,
welcome to the world of Apple, where everything's overpriced.
Goodness, I mean, the packaging looks incredible, but geez,
absolutely, they're just overpriced on everything, though.
I have a cheapo like Samsung Galaxy Tab here, and it was, I don't know, 150, $200, and I think it's fairly comparable to this thing.
It probably is,
you know, but no Fortnite on it as of now, so that's why I went this route. But yeah, the tablet is a little big, and I'm having the thing about Fortnite. It's a game of split seconds, right? It's a game of inches and a game of split seconds, and it's sometimes really tough to find stuff on the screen, even though I know where it's at. Just the placement of your hand and you know, you have to reach with your thumb kind of far to get to the inventory and stuff.
It's not fluid, and the biggest problem that I see with it is what I was mentioning earlier is building. Like when you go into building mode, like for me to click my stairs, I have to like literally take my hand, and this is on my iPhone 6s. Now I have pretty small hands, or 7s. I still have to move my hand over like completely to touch and then regrip my phone.
Right. And when you're getting blasted, it's great when you're building up to a house for a chest or something, but when you're in trouble, when all you want to do is just build a quick fort. Now I played this kind of a off topic here, but I did play this Fortnite knockoff mobile game, which
I saw your video about it.
They had something in there, and granted, you could only do this if truly you keep the mobile people with mobile people and the console and everybody else. But they had this building setting where you could build a basic fort, 4 walls and a ramp, with one push of a button. I kind of like that. Now, I don't know. I think you could just only keep that on mobile if they ever were to implement something like that.
Right.
But it was kind of nice. When you got in trouble, boom, you just built that little fort and you're standing up on the ramp,
Yeah, I think the biggest problem, and back to your topic, is I don't see how you can compete on a mobile device, especially in this game. Maybe another game somewhere down the road. I don't know.
Right.
But I don't know how you're going to compete in this game to actually win a victory royale if you're play with your PC friends and you're stuck on PC servers.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that. It's
because
such a disadvantage. And I'm sure people are going to get good on mobile, but I don't know if they're going to get as good and if it's ever going to get as snappy as it is on PC, right?
Yeah, I don't know how you can. I mean, even on console versus PC, when we go play with a bunch of our PC friends, dude, you can tell the accessibility that they have to the quick keystroke that allows them to jump to a wall, right? Or jump to a floor or jump to their nades instead of us scrolling, because no matter what you do right now, you have to scroll with a controller.
Yep.
Right? Scroll to your next weapon. Scroll to your unit you want to build. You have to scroll, right?
That's right.
And you're talking about PC players who are very fast with keys already, and they can literally, at a push of a button, build this wall, build this roof piece, grab their shotgun, throw their nades, switch to another gun, like so quickly. And then you take it from that to console, and then now console to mobile, and it's like, oh wait, I need to switch my shotgun. Hold on, dude, don't shoot me anymore. Let me switch real quick, right? Like, let me push my button. And so, like, I think the game is a good representation of what it is, right, for a mobile version per se.
Absolutely.
But my biggest thing with you is the same as you. Like, I only want to play mobile people. Like, I don't even want to play somebody in another platform.
Same here. And first time I jumped in, I got like 3 kills, and I'm like, holy moly, I'm doing okay. I finished top 10, 3 kills. I'm like, okay, and I'm like,
it's all that mobile gaming.
Wait a minute, there's no way I was playing with people on cross-platform. There can't be, right? Like, there's no way, because everybody was just as bad as me, and I just ended up on top, most battles. But it was just, we're both standing, looking at each other, and like this would never happen on PS4 or any other, system where there's no seconds wasted on console. It's just, action, and we were both standing and looking at each other. whooping out the weapons and then firing past each other for like 6 rounds, before we ever even hit each other. But I will say this: I played it in my car the other day or yesterday. I was parked. I was waiting for something, and I actually hooked it up to my mobile hotspot on my cell phone. I'm just playing around right now, testing it out,
Right.
And it was smooth. I mean, it was really smooth on a mobile hotspot in a car. So being on an airplane with Wi-Fi, I could see myself totally playing this for hours on end. Now at home, where I have my console, and there's no way, But it is nice on the go. I'm not gonna lie. It is it's fun to play on the go.
Well, if it's telling of Epic and what they've done with this game at all, I think they're gonna continue to tweak and make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think we can count on that a little bit. Nolxero will probably see that change you're talking about, because I bet you anything, if we go search a lot on Reddit, we're going to see that topic. I don't even know if there's a Fortnite mobile Reddit yet, but maybe there is. But like, I'm with you. I'm not going to choose it over my console. I'll probably play it on the go. I think it would be really fun. Like I was telling David at first before it came out, like it'd be a lot of fun to like. I don't need to take a console with me when I travel for work anymore. I just grab my phone. But that's not going to be sufficient. Like, at least for me playing with him when I'm on the road or whatever, or playing with the guys when I'm on the road, because you can't hook up a controller. You can't react fast enough. Now, how do you feel, Uber, if, and this is one of Nolxero's suggestions, if you were to add the ability to connect one of these third-party controllers to your phone?
I'm all for it, honestly. I'm all for it. I think it will put the people that don't have a controller into a disadvantage. They'll
right.
But I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, I'm passionate about the game. I would get a controller. I would. I know you can hook up a keyboard and mouse to an iPad. I wonder if that's something.
I don't think they support that.
They don't support it, right?
Yeah, I don't think the game supports it.
So they're probably, are they doing that to keep an even playing field, do you think?
I believe that's probably why. And that might be why there won't be controller support anytime necessarily soon.
I mean, if they were really smart, why wouldn't Epic just come out with like a proprietary controller that they release? Like, that just sounds like a genius idea to me. Hey, here's like a $30 controller. Here's a $30 controller. You can either attach to your iPhone or you can freehold whatever they decide. But like, I would imagine they would sell so many.
That just make them look very money hungry.
Yeah, you're right. I think there is that, and they're real careful about that, and that's why I love this game so much. Actually, I love how transparent they are, Epic. I mean, I love how how they're really. I mean, how everything is just cosmetic. If you want it, you can buy it, but it's all cosmetic. You can have just as much fun in the game, with a generic skin. And I do think like Battle Pass and all that stuff is still very affordable, right? It's a good deal.
It is.
If you are spending money on the game, you put $10 down every couple months, and you can get enough skins, enough cool stuff to last you, I think. So yeah, it would make them seem a little, or make them look a little bit like they're money hungry, I guess. So they're probably real careful about all that stuff.
Yeah, except when it comes to the pricing of their items. David would argue that one.
It's not cheap. That is true.
Yeah, it's not. I had to add money again last night because I wanted to buy the Battle Hound. Ugh.
Yeah.
All the time. It's something else. I'm like, oh, that skin is awesome. I have like 10 skins that I already said were that awesome, and I keep changing them. Oh man. Well, you mentioned earlier Ninja and some of that stuff going on. I want to jump in and talk a little bit about what happened with him this week. All right, so this week, Ninja played with Drake. If you've been sleeping under a rock and you didn't hear that, and here it is, breaking news. Ninja played with Drake, also with Juju from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so this was a huge thing. I was actually fortunate enough to be up I was getting text and blown up on Twitter and in our Discord, like, are you watching this? Are you watching this? Because it hit over 600,000 people, almost 700,000 people watching at one time on Twitch. Pretty remarkable numbers. Obviously, Ninja has grown to new heights with Fortnite and become, obviously one of the world's top players from everybody's perspective. And what I want to talk about real quick is, like, was this a good thing for gaming? And what type of impact do you think it has on Twitch and gaming overall? There's a YouTuber and a friend of ours named MTash who actually put out a video about this, and it's kind of what sparked my interest in talking about this. But do you think, David, that Drake coming on and playing with Ninja was a good exposure, like, for gaming in general, or was it like, oh, look at these kids that are playing this game?
Well, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool thing for Ninja. I think it was a cool little event that happened. Overall, I have a concern about it, and that is that, I mean, the guys that Ninja was playing with are obviously very famous in what they do and the things that they're doing.
Right.
And I just don't want to see celebrity becoming a thing on Twitch where it becomes even harder for people to break up. Because, like, look, Drake is a celebrity. He is very famous. I don't know how many millions of albums he's sold, but obviously he's pretty successful. Okay? So if he comes and starts streaming all the time, he will have a large viewer base just because of who he is.
Right.
And I just don't want to see it even harder for people to break into Twitch because it gets overrun by celebrities. Deadmau5 has been a streamer for a long time, streams Diablo and also some of his music creation stuff. And I've never really had a problem with him streaming. He doesn't get nothing crazy as far as numbers. Seems like a lot of his fan base, and that's fine to me. To an extent, like, if people are like, well, Drake's fan base is the only people that are really coming and watching his stream, but I just don't think that'll be the case. I think if you get the right, Hollywood personalities, the right music industry personalities, and all that, you could run into a problem where Twitch becomes inaccessible to the layman. So, yeah. I think there's a couple of views on that, right? And, like, for me, I think that it was good for gaming in the sense that it brought more eyes to Twitch. I think I hope I'm with you. I hope Drake doesn't start coming to stream, in the fact of, like, hey, just come watch me play a video game and stream. I don't think that's his intention either. I think he was literally coming on to play with Ninja. Well, yeah, I do too. I don't think and it's not just him. Just your thing. Not just Drake. It really celebrity in general.
Yeah, making famous people more famous on other platforms is not fun for necessarily content creators because it's harder, like you said, to create content. But I do think that overall it brought some eyes to the gaming industry and to Twitch that weren't on it before. Thought it was really cool to see, like, SportsCenter saying something about a video game, right? Like Fortnite. Like, here it is. I thought that was really cool. I think it's always been awesome to watch the esports scene grow from, when we were in it to now, right? How much bigger it is and how much more support it has. But Uber, do you think, like, do more famous people and icons need to come out of the woodworks and say, like, I endorse gaming, or I game with these other people, or show the positive aspects of gaming as a whole? Is that going to be helpful to us, or, like, as a content creator, you're like, I don't care really, I just want to keep doing my thing?
I'm not sure if they need to, but being a gamer and a sports fan, for example, I do enjoy reading stories like that. Like, I know Gordon Hayward, player for the Boston Celtics, he's a big PC gamer. And,
he's probably playing a lot of games right now.
Right, and on the ESPN, they had, like, an article on him a couple months back, and I thought that was, like, I'm always fascinated reading that. I like that, like, that's what I identify as. I'm really a gamer first and foremost that loves sports too, but I'm not an athlete.
I'm the same way.
You know, but I like to see athletes like Juju being into the same games that I'm into. But I'm with you guys on I don't want to necessarily see Drake open up a Twitch account and start streaming once a week. I'm okay on that, you know. But I do think it was a cool thing to do that with Ninja, and also for me it was like a surreal moment. It was something that's, having been around just like you guys in the gaming world, gaming universe for a while now, for decades. It was kind of a moment like, wow, like this game is it's beyond blown up now. I mean, it is everywhere. You see March Madness of college basketball games. You see the players on the bench doing Fortnite celebrations, and like it's everywhere. It's like on your Twitter feed. It's on Facebook. Like you mentioned, it was on Sports Center. They mentioned the game.
Yep.
It's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool how really everybody knows about the game now that we're playing. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you play a game and you tell a non-gamer what you're into, and they just don't really know anything about it, and you kind of have that disconnect a little bit, right?
Yeah, my wife is a total non-gamer. She comes in yesterday. She's like, "What? Why are you breaking down trees and hitting cars? I don't quite understand this." And I'm like trying to explain it to her. She totally did not understand it and lost interest completely,
Right.
But I'm with you. I think bringing more exposure to more people and they spark that interest, you never know what's going to happen, right?
That's so true. I made some shirts. I had my buddy actually make some like Fortnite themed shirts even. And I'm rocking those, in my day-to-day life and stuff. And I'm getting all kinds of comments everywhere now where I go, you know. And I don't think it's all just gamers, but it's also people just seeing memes and seeing GIFs and seeing, little clips on Facebook about this game. And they know what it represents, It's kind of neat. I like it.
I think it's been a really healthy community. It's been really cool to see overall. I think there's been a lot of positive things come out of Fortnite. I think it's funny when people are like, "I lost my kid to Fortnite." Obviously, you are the parent. You control the situation. But not to get too distracted by that too much. But like Nolxero, do you think that it was ironic? I don't know if you saw this post, but Fortnite or Epic came out the following day and it said Fortnite at E3 Party Royale Celebrity Pro-Am.
I'm sure they probably were. That was probably in the works, something along those lines. But this kind of solidified it, I'm sure. Yeah,
I think it was a cool time for them to throw it out there. Obviously, for those people that don't know, it's gonna be 50 celebrities and 50 pro gamers. One victory royale. Join us at the E3 for the ultimate Fortnite Party Royale, pairing some of the world's greatest athletes and entertainers with the top Fortnite Battle Royale players across the globe. So I guess you're getting invited to this, David? Is that what's happening?
They already got my hotel and everything booked, so
it's good. I'm excited, man. It's fun.
I mean, I think that's a cool thing. It's not too surprising on that front because Battlefield has done this several times. They've had Snoop Dogg and a number of other people there playing the new Battlefield against pros. So I think it's cool. Overall, I think it's cool. I just don't. As long as I don't ever want to see celebrity take over, my thing.
Right.
It's ours. They're tourists here. I don't care if they're gamers at heart. Like as far as like the pro scene goes, like we have our pros here. We don't need y'all to come try to be pros. Y'all do what y'all do well, and you can enjoy this with us.
Right. No, I'm with you 100% on that. So. Let us know what you guys think about it. Did you enjoy it? Do you think it's bad? Do you hate it? Or do you want to see more of it? So make sure you guys leave us some comments, shoot us some messages, and let us know what you think about Ninja playing with Drake, and if more famous people need to come out and talk about their gaming habits as well. So let's go ahead and jump over to this week's patch notes and some more discussion about Battle Royale. All right, so this week obviously we had mobile as we mentioned, but some of the other patch notes in version 3.3, pretty nothing too crazy this time around. It's pretty slim for the most part, but we got the remote explosives, we got supply llamas, we got the Luck of the Storm quest line in Save the World for those Save the World fans. Shamrock Reclaimer Outlander in Save the World, which is a pretty cool skin for all those Save the World fans. And, a couple bug fixes. But that was the majority of what we saw. David, I want to ask you really quickly, give me your oversight of the remote explosives, a.k.a. C4.
Disappointing damage.
Yeah.
They're good at taking out walls and bases and stuff, and that's great. I don't know. I've just hit people with them. I've done damage to people with them, and I've been disappointed in many situations where I'm like, that's all the damage it did. Like,
so we had somebody down
to the face for 150 damage, but C4 right on your face is doing like 80. Okay.
Yeah, it is ironic that a shotgun can do more damage than the C4 explosive sitting next to a person. And if you want to test this, I mean, basically what we did is we downed somebody, didn't shoot them. As soon as they were down, they had 100 health. We dropped a C4 on them, and guess what happened? Nothing. They did not die. Yeah, they did not kill them. Yeah.
Right.
With one C4, I was like, oh, I'm going to throw a C4 on this dude. Wait, he didn't die. What?
Yeah.
He only has 100 health right now. What?
Right. It's a novelty item, right? Like, it's cute, but the one thing I will say that I do like using it for, when you have somebody in a house kind of tucked away somewhere, and you don't want to use your pickaxe, and they don't know you're coming, because you're just hacking away 20 times at the wall, it is kind of neat to stick it on there and boom, just bust it out, and then you're there. You're ready with your gun, But
yeah, I think the thing that you said earlier, right? Fortnite is about quick responses, right?
Yes.
So, like, if I hear somebody throwing down C4, dude, I'm jumping out of the house as fast as I can, or running to the other side of the house and then jumping out of it, right? Whatever I can do, I'm getting away from that. And I don't feel like the explosive it's big enough for the damage per area to be an item I'm going to pick up over something else.
Yeah, that's right. With the inventory being so limited, right? The items you can pick up. Yeah. If you do happen to have it, and you may have downed somebody, and their teammate built a little fort with a roof on it to heal them up or revive them, now it's great for that. Stick it on the roof and just wait for it. But that's such a rare occurrence that you almost can't justify keeping the C4 in your inventory for that to happen, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can pick way more items than that one, off the bat.
Right. Yep.
So
yeah, that's my biggest thing with C4s. I can see its uses. I can see that it's not really meant to kill people, but more to destroy things. But it's like, then how do I fit that into my inventory? Like, what am I going to give up for that?
Right. No, I'm with you. That's my biggest thing about it. The other thing that came out this week, obviously the llamas. Now, this is the opposite for me. I love these things. And I don't know if you guys have had a chance to grab any of them, but basically it gives you 500 wood, 500 stone, and 500 metal when you find one, guaranteed. 10 stacks of each ammo type, and 3 traps and consumables. Like, have you, David? Have you got to open one of these llamas yet?
I have. I love them. I think they're fantastic. They're not. You don't get them too often. Like, I've only found 2.
Yeah, they're extremely rare. Yeah, extremely rare. There's only three llamas created per match.
Oh wow, yeah, they're extremely rare. I think they could actually up that a little bit.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about this. That might have been Reason last night after you got off. Probably Reason. But we were talking about how they could probably up it a little bit. It'd actually probably be okay, because finding them is extremely rare. And I didn't know there's only 3 on the map, but yeah, now that I understand exactly why, I've only seen 2 of these in my time.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've only seen 3, maybe, but I have seen pictures of people seeing all 3 drop in like the same area. Oh, that would be magical.
Wow,
that would be magical. Have you got your hands on one yet, Uber?
I've gotten one, yes, and it helped me so much. It was early on, and like the material, right? I'm always struggling to get material until I get a few kills. So just boom, having 500 of each is so helpful. So helpful. Yeah. I love it, and I agree. I think they can up it a little bit. There's only 3. I mean, they can play with the numbers, but yeah, that's pretty low for such a big map.
So Nolxero, in the Save the World mode, they have those mini llamas. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
That you can get. Like, I think it would be cool if they keep these at 3 or 4, maybe up at 1 or 2 extra a match, but then drop like maybe 5, right, of the mini llamas or 10 of the mini llamas on the map.
Yeah,
and
I mean, that could be a thing.
And that are maybe 200 of each material and only 2 stacks of ammo and 3 traps. But like, here's the thing: what I think this does, and what I like to see, and it's continually it's what we said last week is continuing on, is more building. Right, this game really shines when you come to building. Obviously the gunplay is great, but the building is what makes it so fun to watch and so fun and intriguing to get better at over and over and over every time you play. Like, oh man, I should have built there. Oh man, I should have done this there, and then I could have built a floor, and like all those scenarios come into play. And so these things really help whenever you have the material there available to do it, right? So I feel like if they had a couple more opportunities to get a little bit extra material, maybe people would like it more. I know for me, I would, right? I would have to worry less about so much farming all the time. And making sure I'm hitting this, and more about like, okay, how am I going to approach this? What's my gunplay going to be here? What's my fort going to look like? How am I going to, build on this section here? So I just think it'd be cool to see those mini llamas. Maybe they're only, like I said, maybe there's only 3 of those drop, but up the materials that they're giving us and this type of treasure per se throughout the map a little bit more.
I agree. Or even up the material you get out of a chest, right? From 30 to 50 or something, maybe.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like I'm always, especially, you don't always run into people right off the bat, and I feel like I'm always struggling with material, just farming away, just to get enough to go up a mountainside or whatnot. So
right.
Material's definitely a premium in this game, and I love building. Like, I'm starting to get better at it, and it doesn't take long to realize how important it is in this game, right? You can't just stand there like a sitting duck and expect to shoot people left and right.
Yeah.
That's how I started out playing, and I learned pretty quickly that that's not the move.
Right.
Yeah. It took us some learning, Nolxero, from going from PUBG, because that's what we were kind of playing before we got into Fortnite.
Right.
And
it's such a game of angles too, right?
Yeah.
This game.
Yeah. I mean, Nolxero's always flanking almost every time. Like, we get a fight, there's Nolxero going around the side flanking every time. Build a fort on the side of them, kill them.
Right.
That's what happens.
Right.
Or run right at them. That's your 2 approaches, isn't it, David?
I'm super aggressive.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you're good, that's a good move.
Oh, he's okay. Don't tell him he's good. Limited time mode got released. This is the other big announcement in the patch notes. And so just to walk through this real quick, I know, Nolxero, you say you're pretty excited about this. This mode will be out enabled on 3/19, so March 19th. It's called Blitz, and Blitz has much shorter storm times, resulting in faster and more intense matches. Maximum match length is 15 minutes. Okay, so if you guys remember, what was the last one, David? Was it gold?
20
No.
20v20.
20v20. So it moved quicker then, right? And the storms were, I think we talked about it was like 3 minutes difference shorter is what they were having. And we were like, man, this is fast. This is awesome. Well, now we're going to have 15-minute matches max. Yeah. And the match will start
from the very beginning. The storm's moving as soon as you land.
Yeah, the match will start with the storm circle already closing in on over the island. Adjusting to loot availability increases your chances of treasure chest spawning from 50% to 70% and to 80 to 90%. So that jumps pretty substantially Quick tip, David, you said for those that are trying to get their week, 4 battle pass done?
Yeah.
They should
well,
wait.
Any chest in general. If you skipped out on any chest in the Wailing Woods and any of the places where you're supposed to be getting all these chests, this is a good time to get it during the LTMs.
Yeah.
Good call.
Good pro tip there. Increased chances of ammo boxes spawning from 65 to 80% to 85 to 95%. So almost you can almost get 100% that the ammo boxes you've seen somewhere before are going to land. I mean, basically 95% is kind of crazy high. Floor loot spawns nearly 100% of the time. Wow. So like grab the loot, you know where it falls, and go. Supply drop spawn lessened from 180 seconds. So they're going to basically start immediately. Supply drops, descent time shortened from 60 to 30. So they're going to come down in 30 seconds compared to 60 seconds before. And then the launch pad spawn likelihood greatly increased. Now, they don't tell us how much. Maybe they're going to be playing with it throughout the event. But this one's I'm really excited about. We always say we want more verticality, want more launch pads, jumping in. It's a lot of fun to go after people. But you're always really careful with that jump pad, and then you're like, I didn't even use it, and I died. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about that. Harvesting resources will be doubled. So there you go. Uber, your resources will be doubled.
Love that. I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need every piece of wood.
Yeah, especially with the circle moving so fast. My goodness. Resources found in loot increased from 30 to 100. And then treasure chest health increased from 200 to 500. So that's interesting. They're making everything shorter, but the treasure chest health is increased. So I don't understand why they're changing that. It's interesting. Ammo box health increased from 120 to 250. So I'm not sure why they would be changing those, but those are changes that are coming as well, and the gameplay changes. So David, I do have one concern about this Blitz mode. And that is, how's this going to bear for me in Storm?
Not well. Because you're already pretty bad about Storm.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid of this one because as Kyle typically calls me, the OG Storm Hunter. I do find myself in the storm quite a bit. So with the storm moving quicker and faster, I'm not going to be able to get all the loot I want. I'm going to be sad, especially if I see one of those llamas and I'm not able to open it up. I will probably die opening it up. So we'll see what happens with that.
It's interesting though with the storm circle already being there when the bus is still in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, is that how I understand it?
So yeah, it's gonna spawn with the circle already moving. So you're gonna want to drop. You know, I don't know if it's gonna I don't know if it's gonna show us where the circle is instantaneously, right?
Right.
But you're gonna see the storm moving immediately.
That's interesting. So it's essentially taking away part of the map right off the bat. You know, so I think you'll see it landing and tilted.
Right.
No matter where the circle is, that's going to be tilted, basically.
Well, I think what's really interesting about this is where people are going to drop at, because this is going to cause people to drop in different areas quicker, right? So, like if you're flying over retail right at the beginning, a lot of people are going to drop like immediately. They're not going to wait till they get to tilted towers like they do now. Right. They're going to want to drop and get their loot and then figure out where they're having to go. So I think that's going to be a really interesting part about Blitz mode. The other thing is and me and Nolxero were talking about this week, is the bus lines. So currently the bus routes almost go through the middle map or close to the middle map almost every time. Right?
Right.
And in PUBG, as you mentioned, asking about that, like the thing about PUBG is the map is a lot bigger, but you'll have the bus or the plane just go over just the north side of the map, right? Like the very north side of the map, or just the east side or west side or south side, right? Or just fly through a really short corner of the map. And I think that's one thing that Epic needs to look at is changing the bus routes so that what they're doing with Blitz, essentially forcing these drop locations quicker, is what they would be doing by changing the bus routes as well as forcing these drop locations a little more to create different engagements. So we'll see. I mean, David, do you have anything to say on that one?
I'm just excited to play it. It'll be fun for a really fast-paced game. Not a lot of looting, like time to sit back and loot. Not a lot of time to sit there and be like, oh, what are we going to do next? So then be like, go, 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 go. My kind of game.
I think it'll work best for you because, like, as you say, the best way to get loot is to kill people.
Yeah.
Right. They have all the loot that we need. So, well, let's go ahead and jump into our tips and tricks for this week.
You ask, do we have tips? Of course. And do we have tricks? Oh, yes, we do. So listen up.
All right, so this week, a little different tip and trick. One I want to give out that I learned this week, and I don't know if you knew this one, Nolxero. I think you actually might have been in the game when I learned this, but I will credit this to a guy we play with, the Reason 33BT, and he's part of our community in the Discord, so shout out to him. But it's how do you find downed enemies in the water? Uber, do you know how to find downed enemies that you down in the water? Like if you down somebody, do you know how to find them in the water if they're crawling around?
I don't. I can't say I do.
So if you down a guy, like we were in Moisty Mire,
Mm-hmm.
and we downed a guy in the swamp. And we could not find him. Like we did not know where he was. And I was like, how do you find him? And he showed me this little trick for everybody out there. And all you do is beforehand, you could kind of like, do the worm in the water and find somebody, or whatever. And there wasn't any consistency to the water below what you saw, right? So when you saw the top of the water, that's all you saw. Underneath that was just like empty space.
Right.
Well, now if you point your camera up like you're looking into the sky, you can actually look under the water. So it's still gonna look like water or look like the swamp. But you can see under the water a little bit so you can find those enemies and find their loot and what you're looking for.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I mean, it's not going to apply to a lot of situations, but if you're ever in that situation, you're like, man, that guy had a scar and I just killed him in the water. Where's that scar at? Look up to the sky where your camera goes into the water a little bit, and then you can see throughout that water or the swamp.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
good
very
tip.
cool.
Good pro tip.
All right, let's go ahead and jump over to this week's mail.
Hey, look here, guys. Look what we've got. We've got mail.
All right, so this week we got a couple emails. One from Nicole, and says here, first off, I love listening to the podcast and hearing all the different tips you have. Well, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate the support. Also, just learning about the gaming community and how it works has been interesting since it's something I've never been involved in before your podcast. I've started playing Fortnite on Xbox 2 to 3 weeks ago, and before that, I've only ever played Solitaire and a little Minecraft. I'm slightly addicted to the game. So are we. We're all here because we are as well. And the highest kills I've ever gotten is 3 in a game. I'm still working on fundamentals like using the controller and working on reflexes. I was wondering if you had any tips for anyone who is just starting out, not only in Fortnite, but in gaming in general. Once again, love the podcast. Thanks. Well, thank you so much for writing in. And Uber, I would actually ask you this. I mean, obviously you go between mobile gaming and console gaming. You play Xbox as well. We all play console here, but is there any tips you have and you were talking about going between controllers. Do you have any tips and tricks maybe for new players out there, things they should kind of think about or go through whenever they sit down at their console for, the first time to play this game?
Yeah, first here, I love to hear that, Nicole, like that you weren't really a huge gamer and now Fortnite has kind of brought you on board.
Yeah.
Right? That's so cool. Like, I love that. That's really neat. Obviously, learn your controls. I mean, it doesn't hurt to look in the menus and see what all the buttons do, right?
Right.
But It's really just repetitions, I'd say. You got to have that controller in your hand, and eventually that muscle memory is going to set in and you'll know what you're doing. Now, as it applies to Fortnite, the best tip I can give, and I'm a noob, I'm not very good at the game, but the best tip I can give, the thing that really helped me out on Fortnite was learn how to build. Learn how to build. Building is so important. And this game is so much different than most other games where it's a crucial aspect of the game. So if you learn how to just build a basic fort, 4 walls and a ramp, just do that over and over again, and again the muscle memory is going to set in, and you'll become such a better player. And I'm sure you guys have something to add as well to that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think we talked with the FTR Champions podcast, and those guys have the Fortnites where they give themselves one thing to practice for a couple weeks and to get better at. And I think that's a really good place to start. And obviously, Fortnite is built around building something, building a structure. And I think, if you have the basic mechanic of shooting and moving around done, I would say building and looting, right? Nolxero, I mean, you can talk to this one. Learning how to loot well, right? This is something you've pushed me on and continue to push me on, and not staying too long, but looting and getting good at looting, and not necessarily looking for everything that you need to pick up, but getting the things you can use to engage into a fight and then start moving. I mean, David, do you have any tips regarding that?
Well, as far as looting, I think the faster you can be at looting and more efficient you can be at looting, the better. You want to spend as minimal amount of time as possible on looting.
Yes.
It's a big part of the game, but the less time you're spending on looting, the better.
Yep. I call it loot and scoot.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond those tips, the thing I would say is a lot of people pick up video games, and this is a tip for Fortnite and across all games. A lot of people pick up a game, they play it, and they'll just go in and start playing. The thing I'd mention is go into the options and mess with things like sensitivities and stuff like that, because a default sensitivity might not feel right to you. And if you just play with the sensitivity a little bit, you might find something that's better for you. Maybe you don't like regular controllers. You want inverted control schemes, and that might feel more comfortable to you. There's a number of options that are available to you that if you go in and you just play with them, this is across, like I said, all gaming, you might find more enjoyment out of the game because it might begin to handle more how you expect it to.
Great call. That's a great call over there. And Fortnite of all games, the settings are very. There's a lot. I mean, it's built like a PC game, even on console, as far as the sensitivities, and you can, there's a lot of settings to mess around with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely
Good
jump
call.
in and do that. So thank you so much for shooting us an email there, and keep those emails coming. We got one last one from Allie, and I won't read the whole email here, but also known, I'm going to pronounce their gamer tag wrong, I'm sure, but it is Snuggerlist. But he says here, love the show. He actually writes it out. Nolxero is what he writes. Hey, TwoLoud and Nolxero. Love the show. Thanks so much for the amazing job. Hey, we really appreciate you. He says, after no such thing as a fish, you guys are my go-to podcast. So we really appreciate that. He goes on to say that now his question is, he's playing on Xbox One. He says, I am a British guy living in Shanghai, China. Man, that is amazing that you're listening from China. Thank you so much for that. But he said, we don't have an option for Asia or Southeast Asia servers yet. This means a lot of times I'm choosing the lowest or best ping. He's about 200 milliseconds on his screen typically. I think it kind of makes the experience suck way more than it would, he says, if, obviously he had a better ping. People get the drop on him quite a bit. But he says, can we get a shout out to Epic and ask when the Asia and Southeast Asia servers are coming to Xbox One? So some of you guys might be like, I see these servers. He's talking about the Xbox version of these servers. So shout out to Epic if you guys are listening. We have some listeners that would love to know when the servers are coming online, the Asia servers are coming online for the Xbox. So thank you so much, Ali, for shooting that out to us. We really appreciate it. Guys, keep the emails coming. Any questions, any tips, tricks you might have that you would like us to share here on the show or shout outs, you can send those over to fortnitepodcast@gmail.com. Well, let's get into our last section here, our Reddit topic of the week.
I'm gonna tell the world.
Fortnite Reddit is the place to be for videos and memes and epic to see.
Ooh, look at my post.
Reddit is the place to be for videos and memes and epic to
I want to
see.
show epic.
Fortnite and Fortnite BI.
So one really cool thing that the Fortnite BR Reddit does is they give these different things each day. You have Strategy Saturdays, which happened yesterday. And I just wanted to read a couple of these. I don't know if you guys, Nolxero or Uber, have seen this link here. I'm going to shoot it over to you guys. If you scroll through there and see any that you want to share real quick that kind of are funny or catch to you. But it was Strategy Saturday, so it says shares your strategies for getting those sweet victory royales, combat strategies, landing, not landing strategies, building strategies, crossing the map strategies, etc. So I thought it was really funny. One that came up here by NYPD Blue says, play on St. Patrick's Day because a lot of adults are drinking, meaning either kids are playing or adults are playing while hammered. So a good time to get your victory royales in.
I love
Yeah, it's hilarious, man. Reddit will make you laugh. One here says by XTrimZ says simple advice, yet it applies to basically anything, even other games. Never put yourself in a fair fight. Either have some advantages or don't take the fight at all. So, a lot of people actually comment on that one. It's actually a really good idea. Like, if you know you're outnumbered, find a different approach. Maybe move on. Maybe let somebody else. I mean, David, we do this quite a bit. We see a couple of teams fighting in front of us, kind of let them get distracted with each other and then engage.
Right, for sure. I mean, you definitely want to. I think that's really good advice. I think I'm not even going to add to it. That's perfect advice.
Yeah.
Yep. I use that quite a bit.
So yeah, if you guys, I don't know if you guys see any. There's one here that says, if people get higher than you in a build off, reroute outward and create space. Don't just sit there boxed in waiting to die. Edits, do them. Right. So keep in mind that when you're building and you get yourself boxed in, editing is still an option. You can go down. You see this a lot of times if you watch Myth or anybody else play. You will see them that what they'll do is they'll just edit their way back down and start rebuilding another direction. So
right,
really, really cool idea. Obviously, editing on consoles is a little tougher than PC, but you can get pretty good at it pretty quick. So
I see one here from AK Ryder, and we use this quite a bit when we run squads. Don't chop big trees all the way down. It's a surefire way to get yourself noticed, and that can definitely happen, right?
Yeah, that's a really good tip.
And even if you need material, just chop away at that tree, but don't chop it all the way down. And you're still gonna get most of that material, but nobody will see you fall that tree. So I use that quite a bit. That's a good call there.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, leave those trees a couple hits. It's even fun. It's even funny when you leave a tree a couple hits, and then all of a sudden you see that tree go down when you're in a fight, and you're like, "Oh wait, there's somebody over there that just hit that tree I was hitting," and they didn't need to hit it. They hit it once and it fell. So
right.
We've had that happen as well. So
the one I like is it says use everything you have. Traps in your inventory does nothing if you never use them.
It's true,
and it's a lot longer. He talks about how he placed traps in Tomato Town, got kills cross map, but the thesis of the whole comment is perfect. Like, absolutely use everything you have, always.
One more super simple strategy that I've definitely got burned on a couple times. I don't see it on here. I'm sure it's up there somewhere on Reddit, but make sure your weapons are reloaded after a firefight. Right?
Yes.
You're always quick to loot and run off, and even if you pick up that new gun that somebody else dropped, it may not be reloaded, and then you get into another situation with two bullets. It is the worst feeling in the world.
That has happened to me so much, and David is my witness. It's funny you say that, Uber, because I have been saying that lately quite a bit. Like, we get out of a fight, I'm like, hey, make sure you're reloaded.
That's right.
Because I have lost some fights because of that situation. So
same here. Help your teammates out and just kind of mention it. If you're running squads, mention it to your teammates so they know too.
Yep. Yep. And everybody's like, I was like, that's a good idea. Yeah. So definitely keep that one in mind. Well, guys, as always, thank you so much for listening. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. Shoot us a review on iTunes. Leave us some comments on Podbean. And you can always send your complaint emails to fortnitepodcast@gmail.com. And we read those as well as the nice and kind emails. So tell us what you like and what you dislike about the show. And Uber, tell everybody where they can find you when you stream, where to find your videos, and where to follow you at.
Sure thing. Yeah. UberYouTuber on YouTube. Very easy. One word. UberYouTuber. I'm on Twitter as well, @Daniel Basil. I'm sure that'll be in the show notes. You guys can just click on that. Streaming, I stream at least twice a week. It's kind of hit or miss right now, but I'm really trying to do more Fortnite mobile videos. I'm going to try to upload daily videos on my channel for that. So if you guys are into the mobile side of Fortnite, I'm going to try to get better at the game and maybe do some challenge videos and things like that. But also Xbox. I'm a big PS4 gamer, and I just picked up an Xbox One X a little while ago. I need more friends on Xbox. I need an excuse to turn this thing on. Otherwise, it's just a boat anchor sitting here. So UberYouTuber on Xbox, please send me some friend requests so I have some friends on there as well to play Fortnite with.
So you guys, if you want to, Uber's actually part of our Discord. He's in our Discord now. So if you want to play and you play on Xbox, we have an LFG channel there as well where you can go in and you can actually push for, hey, I'm going to be on right now playing for a couple hours, and people jump in there like, okay, hey, I'm playing too. So definitely come join our Discord. That link will be in the show notes as well. And also, you can join our PS4 community, which is crazy thriving right now. People are playing with me and Nolxero almost every night. So we appreciate you guys joining that and being a part of that community as well. This show and this community is only as good as you guys. So obviously we appreciate that a lot. Hey, Uber, man, thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate you taking out the time to come on and talk with us. We look forward to obviously seeing some of your videos and seeing how you start destroying the mobile scene for Fortnite. So, we could say we had the #1 Fortnite mobile player on.
Hey now. Well, thanks for having me. You guys are awesome. Like I said, I listened to your podcast. I've backlogged it. I've listened to almost every episode now. I'm gonna make it all the way back to episode 1, and keep up the good work, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Such an honor.
Hey man, thank you so much. You might want to watch out for, I think it's like, what episode is that? Like 10 when Kyle's on the squad one. You might want to watch out. Some people hated that episode because he was vaping and it hurted their ears. So I'm just forewarning you. Because I'm sure some people out there will go ahead and comment on this way. Hey, just listen to all of them but this one. But it wasn't that bad for me. But hey, I got to tease Kyle a little bit. Well, man, thank you so much. Guys, as always, make sure you're checking out the official Fortnite Reddit pages. And you can keep up with the Fortnite BR and Fortnite Reddit pages over there. And until next time, and as always, dance out those kills and boast in those victory royales.